Hey wonderful people, smash that subscribe button to become part of our family, and let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. With that said, let's get into today's story. I wiped down the last table in the dining room, my back aching from another 12-hour Saturday shift. The smell of garlic and tomato sauce clung to my clothes, my hair, my skin. It had been like this every weekend for 3 years. Friday evening through Sunday night, I belonged to the Olive Branch. My parents' restaurant. The one I saved from dying. Rachel, honey, can you come to the storage room for a minute? Dad's voice called from the back. Your mom and I need to talk to you about something. Bring your sister. My sister. Emma. 24 years old, fresh off a year-long backpacking trip through Europe that mom and dad funded while I worked 2 jobs to keep my own apartment. I found Emma in the corner booth, taking selfies with her overpriced latte. She hadn't lifted a finger all day, but she'd shown up for lunch, which apparently counted as helping out. Dad wants us, I said. She rolled her eyes but followed me. The storage room smelled like dried pasta and industrial cleaner. Mom and Dad stood together, holding hands. They looked nervous. That made my stomach twist. Girls, sit down. Mom gestured to the plastic chairs we kept for staff breaks. I'll stand, I said. My feet hurt, but something told me I'd want to be standing for this conversation. Emma sat, crossing her legs and checking her phone. We've been talking with our lawyer, Dad started. He pulled out a thick manila envelope. About the future of the Olive Branch. About what happens when we retire. Here it comes, I thought. Finally. 3 years of waiting for them to acknowledge what I'd done. 3 years of working for free while Emma traveled the world. 3 years of watching my savings account drain while I rebuilt their dream. We've decided to leave the restaurant to Emma, Mom said quickly. She'll take over as owner and manager when we step down next year. The words didn't make sense at first. They bounced around my brain like loose change, refusing to settle into meaning. What? I said. Emma is going to run the Olive Branch, Dad repeated. He still wasn't looking at me. We think she's the right person for the job. I turned to Emma. She was smiling. Actually smiling, like she'd won something. You're joking, I said. We're completely serious, Mom said. Emma has a natural gift for hospitality. People love her. She's warm, she's charming. She knows how to make customers feel special. I saved this restaurant, I said slowly. My voice sounded far away, like it belonged to someone else. I gave you $180,000 when the bank was going to foreclose. I worked here every single weekend for 3 years. For free. While Emma was drinking wine in Paris cafes. We know you helped, Dad started. Helped. The word exploded out of me. I didn't help. I rebuilt this place from the ground up. I redesigned the menu. I set up the reservation system. I trained the entire waitstaff. I created the social media presence that brought customers back. This restaurant exists because of me. That's a bit dramatic, Emma said, not looking up from her phone. I stared at her. My little sister, who'd quit every job she'd ever had within 6 months. Who'd never paid her own rent. Who'd spent the last year posting sunset photos with captions about finding herself. When have you worked here? I asked her directly. She shrugged. I've helped out. Name 3 items on the menu. She blinked. What? 3 items. Just 3. Name them. This is ridiculous. You can't, can you? You don't even know what we serve. Girls, stop, Mom said, her voice sharp. This isn't productive. You're right, I said. Let's be productive. Let's talk about money. How much is the Olive Branch worth now? Dad shifted uncomfortably. The business appraiser valued it at $720,000. The number hung in the air like smoke. $720,000, I repeated. And you're giving it all to Emma. While you still owe me $180,000 from the loan that saved this place. We've been making payments, Dad said defensively. You've paid me $15,000 total, I said. In 3 years. That's $165,000 you still owe me. But sure, give Emma a $720,000 business. That makes perfect sense. The loan and the inheritance are separate issues, Mom said. Are they? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like I invested $180,000 and 3 years of my life into building something you're now handing to someone who did nothing. Emma has potential, Dad said. She just needs the right opportunity. And I had what? The wrong opportunity. The chance to be your unpaid employee while my sister became your favorite. That's not fair, Emma said, finally looking up. You've always been the golden child. The responsible one. The smart one. I've lived in your shadow my whole life. I actually laughed. A cold, bitter sound I didn't recognize. Is that what you think? That I'm the golden child? Emma, Mom and Dad paid for your college even after you dropped out twice. They bought you a car when you totaled yours drunk driving. They funded your European vacation while I was here saving their business. If that's living in my shadow, then shadows must be made of money and privilege. You're twisting things, Mom said, her eyes filling with tears. The tears that always made me the villain. We've always tried to be fair to both of you. Fair? You're giving her a $720,000 business and leaving me with a $165,000 debt you're paying off at $5,000 a year. Do the math, Mom. That's 33 more years before I'm paid back. We'll increase the payments, Dad offered. To what? $10,000 a year. That's still 16 years. The silence stretched between us. Why? I asked quietly. Just tell me why Emma deserves this and I don't. Mom and Dad exchanged a look. The look that meant they discussed this, rehearsed this, prepared for this moment. Emma needs this more than you do, Mom finally said. You have your career in finance. You make good money. You're independent, stable. Emma needs support. She needs structure. She needs something that's hers. So you're giving her my investment. It was never your restaurant, Dad said firmly. You loaned us money to save our business. That doesn't make it yours. I didn't just loan you money. I gave you 3 years of my life. For which we're grateful, Mom said. But we never asked you to work here every weekend. That was your choice. The words hit me like ice water. You called me crying, I said to Mom. My voice shook. 3 years ago, you called me at 2 in the morning, sobbing that you were going to lose everything. That grandma's legacy was going to disappear. You begged me for help. We were going through a difficult time. You said you needed me. You said I was the only one who could save you. Those were your exact words. We were emotional, Dad said. We weren't thinking clearly. But I was thinking clearly when I emptied my savings account the next day. When I took out a loan against my retirement fund. When I gave you every penny I had. We appreciate what you did, Mom said. But that doesn't mean. Doesn't mean what? Doesn't mean I matter. Doesn't mean my sacrifice counts. Doesn't mean I deserve the same consideration as Emma. You're being hysterical, Emma said. I turned to her slowly. Say that again. Something in my voice made her shrink back. You're upset, she tried. I'm upset. I'm upset. My voice rose. I spent 3 years of my life building something, and you're getting it handed to you like a birthday present. And I'm hysterical for being upset. Lower your voice, Dad commanded. We're in a place of business. Your place of business. That I saved. With MY money. Money you're getting back, he said coldly. In 33 years. Then maybe you shouldn't have loaned it if you needed it back immediately. The cruelty of it stole my breath. This was my father. The man who taught me to ride a bike, who came to every school play, who told me I could do anything. But somewhere along the way, between Emma's failures and my successes, I'd become the dependable one. The reliable one. The one who didn't need love because she didn't need anything. I pulled out my phone. What are you doing? Mom asked. Looking at the loan agreement. The one your lawyer drew up 3 years ago when I gave you $180,000. I scrolled through my documents, found it, opened it. Section 7, Clause B, I read aloud. The borrowers agree that any major business restructuring, sale, or transfer of ownership requires written consent from the lender as this loan is secured against the business assets. Dad's face went white. You're making Emma the owner, I continued. That's a transfer of ownership, which requires my consent. As the person who holds a $165,000 secured loan against this business. Rachel, don't do this, Mom whispered. Do what? Enforce the legal agreement you signed? You're going to ruin your sister's future over a technicality. Emma stood up, her voice shrill. I'm going to protect my investment. Something you've never had to do because everything gets handed to you. I started typing on my phone. Section 9, Clause A, I said. If the borrower violates any terms of this agreement, the lender has the right to demand immediate repayment in full, including accrued interest. I pulled up my calculator app. 3 years at 6% annual interest on $180,000. That's $32,400 in interest. Total owed, $197,400. We don't have that kind of cash, Dad said. Then you shouldn't have violated our agreement. I sent a text to my friend Karen, who was a lawyer. Need to enforce a secured loan agreement. Business owners trying to transfer ownership without lender consent. Can you send formal demand for payment tomorrow? Her response came immediately, on it. Sorry you're dealing with this. I showed them the text. Tomorrow morning, you'll receive a legal letter demanding payment in full. You'll have 30 days to pay $197,400. You can't do this, Mom's voice broke. You'll destroy us. You're destroying me. You're giving away 3 years of my life to Emma like it means nothing. Like I mean nothing. That's not true, Dad said, but his voice lacked conviction. Then pay me back. Today. Right now. Show me I matter by choosing to honor your debt to me over your gift to her. The silence was my answer. That's what I thought, I said quietly. I walked to the door, then turned back. For what it's worth, I didn't want it to be like this. I wanted you to choose me because you loved me, not because I forced you to. I wanted you to see what I did for you and value it. But you can't see past Emma's smile and my competence. So here we are. If you do this, you're not our daughter anymore, Dad said. The words should have hurt. But I'd been not their daughter for a long time. I just hadn't realized it until now. Goodbye, I said, and walked out of the olive branch for the last time. The next month was warfare. Day 1, 43 missed calls. Day 2, Mom showed up at my office. Security had to escort her out when she started screaming in the lobby about how I was killing my family. Day 3, Emma posted on social media about toxic family members who value money over love. The comments were brutal. People I'd known my whole life called me greedy, heartless, cruel. Day 5, my uncle called. Rachel, I heard what's happening. You need to forgive this debt. That's what family does. Did they tell you I loaned them $180,000? Pause. No. Did they tell you I worked there for free for 3 years? Longer pause. No. Did they tell you they're giving Emma the entire business worth $720,000? I think I'm getting the full picture now, he said quietly. Day 7, Karen filed the formal demand. My parents had 30 days to pay or face legal action. Day 10, Dad's lawyer called Karen, trying to negotiate. They offered $50,000 immediately and the rest over 5 years. Tell them no, I said. Full amount in 30 days or foreclosure. Rachel, are you sure? Karen asked. This is your parents. I'm sure. Day 14, Emma sent a 10-paragraph text about how I was ruining her life, how she'd finally found her purpose, How I was jealous of her happiness. I didn't respond. Day 18. The Olive Branch posted on social media that they were having a fundraiser to save the family business from predatory lending. Predatory lending. That's what they called my $180,000 that saved them from bankruptcy. The post got shared 300 times. The comments were vicious. Disgusting that a daughter would do this to her parents. Money isn't everything. Family is. Some people have no heart. I screenshotted every comment. Saved them all. Evidence of who they really were. Day 22, Mom's sister called. How can you live with yourself? Pretty easily, I said, and blocked her number. Day 25, Dad called from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. Rachel, please. We'll lose everything. You should have thought of that before you gave everything to Emma. We made a mistake. We see that now. We'll include you in the ownership. 50-50 with Emma. I don't want to own a business with Emma. I want my money back. We can't get it in 5 days. That sounds like a you problem. I'm your father. Doesn't that mean anything? I thought about that question. About all the times I'd called him my hero. About the dad who used to exist before Emma's failures became more important than my successes. It used to, I said. But you stopped being my father when you told me I didn't matter as much as Emma. When you chose her comfort over my sacrifice. When you made me invisible. We never meant. Goodbye, Dad. I hung up and blocked that number too. Day 30, no payment arrived. Karen filed the foreclosure paperwork. The legal process took 3 months. During that time, my family waged a public war against me. They did newspaper interviews about the heartless daughter destroying a beloved local restaurant. They went on local radio, crying about family betrayal. Emma started a GoFundMe to save the Olive Branch from corporate greed. As if I was a corporation and not the daughter who saved them. They raised $43,000. People I'd gone to high school with donated. Neighbors I'd known my whole life contributed. Everyone believed their version of the story. Nobody asked for mine. The foreclosure attracted attention. Suddenly, buyers appeared. A restaurant group offered $650,000 cash. A celebrity chef offered $700,000 and promised to keep the name. My parents rejected every offer. They'd rather lose it all than see someone else have it. In the end, the bank forced a sale. The restaurant group won with their $650,000 bid. After legal fees, back taxes, and other debts, the final amount available was $587,000. My claim was first priority as a secured creditor. I received $197,400. My parents received $389,600. The Olive Branch closed on a Tuesday afternoon. I drove by that evening and saw them packing up. Mom was crying. Dad looked 20 years older. Emma sat in the corner, scrolling through her phone like always. I didn't stop. Didn't go in. Didn't offer comfort. That part of my life was over. The new owners reopened the Olive Branch as Bella Not. They kept some of Grandma's recipes but changed most of the menu. Modernized everything. It became trendy, expensive, exclusive. It thrived. Mom called me once, 6 months later, from a new number. Are you happy now? Her voice was cold. Your grandmother's legacy is gone. Replaced by some pretentious place that charges $40 for pasta. Grandma's legacy died when you chose Emma over me, I said. We're living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Did you know that? Your father had to take a job as a line cook at Denny's. At 62 years old, he's working at Denny's. You had $389,600 from the sale. We had to pay debts. And we gave Emma money to start over. Of course they did. You made your choices, Mom. You destroyed our family. No. I just stopped letting you destroy me. I hung up and blocked that number too. A year later, Emma sent me a friend request on Facebook. I ignored it. Then she sent a message, "I'm sorry." Just 2 words. No explanation. No acknowledgement of what happened. Just "I'm sorry." I typed back, "For what?" No response. I blocked her too. It's been 2 years now. I rebuilt my savings. Bought a condo. Got promoted to CFO at my company. I started dating someone, Alex, who thinks what I did was brave, not cruel. Who says standing up for yourself isn't the same as tearing others down. Sometimes I drive past Bella Not. See the crowds waiting for tables. Hear the laughter spilling onto the street. It doesn't look like the olive branch anymore. Grandma's hand-painted mural is gone. The family photos are gone. The warmth is gone. But maybe that warmth was always an illusion. Maybe I just wanted to believe I belonged somewhere, to people who never saw me. People ask if I regret it. The honest answer, I regret that it had to happen. I regret that my family valued Emma's potential over my proven devotion. I regret losing the restaurant that held my childhood memories. But I don't regret choosing myself. Because the alternative was spending the rest of my life being the responsible one, the dependable one, the invisible one who sacrificed everything and received nothing. I don't know if I made the right choice. Maybe there was a better way, some middle path I couldn't see through my hurt and anger. But I know this, I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still building a life that's mine. My family tells people I'm the villain of this story. The greedy daughter who destroyed them over money. But here's what they don't tell anyone. They had options. They could have sold assets. They could have taken out a business loan. They could have given me partial ownership. They could have simply honored their debt. They chose not to. They chose to give everything to Emma and nothing to me. They chose to violate our agreement. They chose to make me fight for what I was owed. I didn't destroy the olive branch. I just stopped being the only one holding it together. And when I let go, it fell. Because I was the only one carrying the weight. Maybe that makes me the bad guy. Maybe demanding what you're owed makes you selfish. Maybe choosing yourself over family makes you a monster. Or maybe it just makes you someone who finally learned their worth. I spent 28 years earning my parents' love. Trying to be good enough, smart enough, helpful enough. And in the end, I learned that love shouldn't be earned. It should be freely given. If they couldn't give it to me without conditions, without comparisons, without making me smaller so Emma could shine brighter, then their love wasn't worth having. The olive branch is gone. My family is gone. The life I thought I was building is gone. But I'm not gone. And maybe that's the only thing that matters. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe. Have you ever been taken for granted by your family? Have you ever had to choose between loyalty and self-respect? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, you are not required to sacrifice yourself on the altar of other people's comfort. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is save yourself first. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's only you, standing in the aftermath, learning that survival is its own kind of victory.